So on the one hand, they were confronting state racism in all its forms. To what extent were they also confronting racist organisations, for example, on the extreme right, or also were they confronting the ideas that were really emerging from Enoch Powell's Rivers of Blood speech?
They definitely were confronting both the far right and that group of the population who would have supported Enoch Powell. So one of their members, a man called Farooq Dhondy, wrote in the Times of India in 1968 that the Black Panthers and the fact that they wore berets, some of them wore badges, some of them wore military army style jackets, that this was a visual presence designed to counter the presence of the National Front, who at that time was very actively campaigning in South London, presenting kind of far-right ideas, handing out newspapers, and the fact that this movement was willing to make itself visible on the streets was considered to be a form of resistance to the National Front's attempts to corral people behind their ideas.
And was resistance a key word in how they understood and thought about their actions?
Yes, I think resistance was an important word for them, in the sense that it was about bringing people together collectively. It was believed that one of the members that I have interviewed said blackness was a political term, right? And together, as a form of resistance, they could kind of publicly proclaim who they were as a group, as opposed to having people on an individual basis be in situations where it was much more difficult to resist. For a long time, Black people in Britain hadn't had a voice that said, if you are mistreated in a job interview, that's an example of racism. And this was that voice that collectively enabled people to kind of resist a lot of the social structures that were putting them in situations that, on an individual level, were incredibly difficult.